To get started making something, let's explore basic shapes. To begin with, I have a new document open and I have two artboards. On the first artboard, we're going to explore some basic shapes. And on the second one, we're going to use that to start to compile them to make them look like something more familiar. If you have your Tools panel in a double row, then you're going to find the shapes right below the Text tool. I'm going to get the Rectangle tool and just draw a selection. What we have is a rectangle that has white fill and a black stroke. That's indicated here on the Tools panel or here on the Control panel. Of course, the fill is the internal space and the stroke is the outside frame. If I change the fill to red, you can see that a little easier. And if I change the stroke to something really thick, you can see that as well. It kind of looks like a frame, but we're going to put it back to 1. If I hold my Shift key, I'm going to get a perfect square. The orientation is going to follow whatever direction I drag. Next to that is a rounded rectangle. And not surprising, it has rounded corners. Once again, Shift is going to make that into a square. And of course, it's going to follow whatever direction I go. The Ellipse tool is just like an oval. If I hold my Shift key, I'm going to get a perfect circle. And again, the orientation is going to follow whichever direction I drag. Now you may have noticed a couple of things happen as soon as I start to work with the shapes. One is that I get this dialog box, and it has information about the location of this shape it's selected. It also has information about the size and the corners. If we go over here, we'll have information about the corners, the size, and the location. If you wanted to be very precise, you could put information in here, numeric values, to help you with that. You might also notice that we have some extra indicators. These are called widgets. The shapes now are live shapes, and they can change right here on the artboard. I can drag these corners in and make them rounded, drag them back out. Same thing with the rounded rectangle. I can change them to a sharp corner, or I can drag them even further in. I can also change the sides. It's a very active shape. I'm going to undo that. The ellipse has that available on the circle. And the way that it works, it activates the two sides. And it allows you to go to corners and change that or make them to manipulate it that way. These are the basic shapes. Next, we're going to look at the polygon and the star tool.